Okay, good morning everyone. I'm your boy Willie Smit. Welcome back to yet another vlog, and the duct tape's off. This is an open letter to Cameron Jeffers, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this, but here goes.
Do you hear me?
So first of all, this is not a personal attack. I think he's a super cool guy. I love his YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. Check it out. And the big thing that I'm trying to achieve with this open letter is basically to explain how the systems work, how our worlds work, how people think, how things are applied and interpreted, and what the problem is with this whole mess, if you want to call it this. So here goes for the people that don't know what's going on. So British Cycling revealed that they have suspended Cameron Jeffers' license, suspended him for 6 months of racing, but in real racing as well, for obtaining illegal Tron bike on Zwift through means of a bot illegally. So where to begin with this whole mess? E-racing will never ever be able to replace real road cycling or any form of that. But that's not the point I'm going to discuss today. If you want to know why I said that, I can do a separate vlog on that. But if you truly understand cycling, you already know what I mean. Okay, so let's start. So some people think e-racing is a joke. Other people take it very seriously. But regardless on which side that you're on, it's important as a person to respect both sides for many fundamental reasons. Technology is becoming a bigger part of our daily lives, as we've obviously seen, and many forms of e-racing has rapidly started growing. But don't worry, for your old school cyclists out there, it will never ever replace real road cycling out on the road for a gazillion reasons, but it does not mean there's anything wrong with it. So why do I even bother going into this topic? So just a short brief history. I studied law at the University of Pretoria, and I understand most of the basic fundamentals of law and how, why and when it's applied. So I'm just gonna try and use the knowledge that I've gained and explain this whole mess a little bit better to you. The rule of law is truly complicated, and how, when and why it gets applied are best left to the experts out there. Regardless what you as a human think is right or wrong, or how big or small the offense committed is, the fundamentals of the applicable law has come a long way, even before your great-great-grandfather was born. And to you it might seem unjust at first, but it's actually written extremely well. This morning I watched Cameron Jeffers' video on YouTube to make sure I didn't miss anything that could have justified the whole scenario. I noticed how sorry he said he is, and then immediately jumped onto a bunch of justifications, reasoning to his actions before and leading up to the event. So obviously I don't know all the exact nitty-gritty details, but I just want to touch the broad spectrum of fundamental problems in this scenario. And if my advice or opinion is of any help, take it on the chin, forget about it and move on in life. But forget about all the justifications, because you're missing the point here. The question here is not when the e-racing rules were written. And I repeat, the question here is not when the e-racing rules were written or not. When or what time they weigh riders before a race. Whether you produce the best watts per kilogram compared to your competitors when you were racing the e-racing national championships. Whether someone else contacted you to help you get this Tron bike via a bot or not. This is besides the point and playing the ball. It's about whether you competed with a bike illegally obtained or by means of a bot, which is faster than most other bikes. It's about that you went on to compete with that specific bike at the British E-racing National Champs, which you did not obtain through your own blood, sweat and tears by means of a bot or outside assistance, whatever. And yes, this might all seem ridiculous, but we are talking about an online game. So in the context of an online game, which is taken so seriously and where a national jersey is awarded, which comes with a lot of recognition, it is a relevant offense whether we as a public think it's a big deal or not. And our opinion doesn't count how serious the offense is. What the rules are and how they are applied through the system of law is what matters here. If I'm driving over the speed limit only by a couple of kilometers per hour and I drive into someone, the onus or fault lies on me, regardless how small the offense is or boundaries that was crossed. This is important to note in this specific case. So what could you have done to prevent all of this? Well, you did mention in your YouTube video and your explanation that you did a huge amount of research, preparation and sacrifice to be prepared for to be as much prepared for this event as you could have been. So obviously you take e-racing quite seriously, I would presume. But my question now is one of principle. Why even consider using a bot in a sport you take so seriously and hold to the highest of values? Why not just suffer to upgrade through each challenge and level? Wouldn't that have been such a much better overall feeling of self-perseverance and sacrifice when you know you did it all by your own through endless hours on the bike and lifestyle sacrifices you had to make to pass each level? I mention all of this because I know how serious you take the e-racing and how hard you must have worked. But let's get back to my initial question. What could you have done differently or to have prevented this whole debacle? Well, I'm not sure how many events you competed in before the E-National Racing Championships with the Tron bike, but your saving grace could have been to have competed with the regional bike or level you had before you had the Tron bike, which you obtained by means of a bot. And I always know it's easy to say or criticize someone afterwards, because as a human being, I also understand that it's always easier to say, but what, I should have done that, I should have done that. And that I also realize. And the big thing to note here as well is that regardless of when the rules were written and applied, is that you had competed in an event which you and many other people regard as very important. That comes with a lot of attention, acknowledgement, and a national e-racing jersey. So regardless of how big or small the offense is, and regardless who you are, when you win such a prestigious event, you will always be under the spotlight and under heavy surveillance. And any tiny offense will be punished severely, especially when you've won. Did they make an example out of you? Yes, unfortunately. Was a 6-month ban harsh? Yes. Does it matter what my or other people's or your opinion is about the offense? No, it's up to the people that apply those laws, and that we as a general public need to realize. We as people should start taking the rules very, very seriously, regardless of how minor the offense is. Because with many cases of law, we have seen how the law can be applied with even the most minor of offenses. We all know this, but still we try and push our luck. With Cameron, British cycling has made an example out of him, and they've showed that they will not tolerate any minor offenses. Let me tell you a small story. In the start of 2018, I bought my first Zwift subscription. I did not beg for a Zwift sponsorship. I paid for it with my own hard-earned money. I got beaten up in decategorized bunches while my wife was sitting next to me laughing. Here I was, a World Tour rider, getting smashed and dropped like a bag of potatoes while going full gas. Yes, it was clear that other people's watts per kilogram was not correct. Did I have a laugh at it? Yes. In fact, I actually enjoyed racing with these people, because the times that I was actually on Zwift, I really had to then push myself hard to keep up and suffer even more. Did I at any stage even consider putting in the wrong weight to have a better watts per kilogram to be able to go faster? No! Why the fuck would I pay for subscription with my own hard-earned money to go on an online racing game just to cheat myself into riding better watts per kilogram by cheating with my weight? To race random people that I don't even know, whose watts per kilogram was clearly out of this world. For me, that would be a complete waste of time, my hard-earned money, and my values about the sport. But that's just me. Do you know who you are? Guys, I hope this explanation wasn't taken personally. Life is really harsh. It's not fair, and it's becoming more and more unfair as times progress for very complicated reasons, which is difficult to understand as a human being. But I hope this message came across in a good way, because I only mean it in a good way. And I'm supportive of all cyclists out there. Like I said, I'm very supportive of the cycling community out there. I just wanted to give you explanation from my point of view and what I've learned over the years and through my own experience. That's today's explanation. So I'm going to try and edit that, and I'm going to ask Mandy today to help me with another vlog, because we had to go do shopping because she's been very lazy lately, and I had to go help her get her butt off the couch and help her with chores in the house, and we set up a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to show you some views of Andorra. I met someone in Jack Haig's coffee shop, which actually lives in Foix. I've got his card here, so I'm going to give him a mention as well. And I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, John Blux. Met him yesterday, super nice guy. He takes people on bike tours, and I actually want to head over to Foix and sometime when I have time, because I never have time because of life, and actually go do a few rides with him and see what he's all about. So it's super nice. If you're watching this video as well, it was super nice meeting you, and this is a shout out to you just because you're a super nice guy.